Hello, New York Comic-Con, and thank you so much for coming. We hope that everyone's having a really, really good end of days. This is the panel for the Amazon series The Boys. Just one day. This epic finale. I am Eric Kripke. I am showrunner of The Boys. They asked me to moderate the panel because we are clearly out of money and Scott Baio was not available. I am joined by the best group of actors I could ever hope to work with, starting with Karl Urban, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Jack Quaid.
Jack
Quaid. Beautiful Erin Moriarty. The strong and surprisingly supple Laz Alonso.
Yes. There he is.
All right, next we have the beautiful and deadly Karen Fukuhara. And then the fastest man alive, Jessie T. Usher. Everyone's favorite Nazi, Aya Cash. And then the man with singing manginas, Chace Crawford. And last but not least, the single best person at playing a Frenchman who doesn't speak French, Tomer Capon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I love that.
Tomer.
With the wind down.
Look, we wanted to do this one just for the fans. Like, we're so grateful that you're digging the show. It really means the world to us. So we're going to skip the part of the panel where we douche it up and talk about how great we are. And we're going to get right to the fan questions, which is the best part. So we had you guys send in a bunch of questions, and we're going to dive in. Let's see what happens. Okay. First question, I have the list of them all here. First question is for Karl from @LucyBlutiful. And the question is I'd really like to know what was the most fun scene to shoot and what was the most challenging scene to shoot.
Oh, wow. Okay. The most fun scene to shoot, that's a hard one because, every day we have so much fun. I love the boat stuff in episode 3. All of the boat stuff was, it was challenging to shoot, but it was, we had so much fun doing that. But if I had to nail it down, I would say it would be episode 6. It would be a scene with Jack and Erin, where Hughie is unconscious. It's at the end of episode 6, and we're standing around him talking about him slathering creamy Desitin on his bum. And there was a line of dialogue that was, I just couldn't remember it. It was like that he uses L'Oreal shampoo. It was like, and they kept on saying strawberry cheesecake, strawberry ice cream. I could never remember it. We were in hysterics. I must have done 20 takes trying to get this shampoo out. So that was probably the most fun. And of course, Jack's just lying there, and I just get it out, and he starts giggling, and we have to start again.
Oh man, it's so hard to do nothing while Karl says strawberry cheesecake.
Strawberry smoothie, which is simple.
Yeah, it's L'Oreal for kids. Strawberry smoothie. Funny.
So we couldn't get it right.
Strawberry smoothie, there. That's it. That's the one. Strawberry smoothie.
Yeah. L'Oreal for kids. Strawberry smoothie.
That was probably one of the most fun and the most challenging. That's a hard one. I'd say probably. Probably the finale, I suppose. There is a scene at the end of 208 that was probably one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to do, and you'll see why. So, because the end of the season just packs a hell of a wallet. So that'll be the most challenging.
Awesome. Okay, next is this is actually for both Jack and Erin, so we'll have them both answer. From PR Cowboys, will Starlight and Hughie ever be in an honest relationship with each other? So get both of your perspectives.
Ooh.
Erin, what do you think?
Well, listen, I would say that us answering that is kind of is really mere speculation because that's kind of in Kripke's hands. I think most of us would be honest with our partner if it meant we got to keep them, but Hughie is such a good human being that Annie's safety seems to be one of his top priorities, that if she continues to be in the 7, I could see how he could keep getting into situations where he needs to keep things from her. But it depends on her placement, and there's a huge question mark over that, I think. So my answer is, as long as Annie's in the 7, I think that there will be moments he has to be dishonest with her, and I don't think she'll ever fully understand it, but I think it comes from good intentions on Hughie's part. That's my guess.
That would kill him, though. I feel like, especially this season, he's really learned the lesson of you have to be honest with Annie, like no matter what, even if it's for. But sometimes her safety is on the line.
That's the thing.
God, that's so
life
tough.
or death.
That's really tough. I don't know, Eric. I mean, like, yeah, because you're right. Like Annie, we're seeing Annie join the boys a little bit this season, help us a little bit, and also help take down the 7 from the inside. So I don't know, Eric, that's in your hands. I don't know what happens. Does Hughie join the 7 next season? Who knows? I think maybe at one point, sometime in the maybe distant future, when, I don't know, maybe the whole world blows up or turns into liquid blood, who the hell knows? Maybe Hughie and Annie can have an honest, real relationship. But
I concur.
Eric, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, none of that's going to happen. But thanks.
Okay.
No, it's good. I like those answers. All right, the next question is for Aya from @DutchAnila, who asks, how is it to play a person that is so completely the opposite of who you are in real life?
You don't know me. Thank you for understanding that there's a difference between the actor and the character. It's some ways it's fun, and in some ways it's just as horrifying as watching her. So when there are moments where I have to do really terrible, awful things, it doesn't necessarily feel good on the day. And then sometimes it's just a blast. I mean, some of the most fun that I had on set was that day where I'm chasing Kamiko and Kenji around. And because Karen and Abraham are such a blast to work with, we were singing and dancing and playing around the whole day up until those moments where, the horror happens. So it's a mix. But I do think that any person can be good or evil, and that's why people are dangerous.
I agree. That was a really fun day on set because Aya, Abraham, and I were singing musicals, and then they would start the take, and we would be smashing each other's heads into the wall. So,
My other question for you, Aya, is what's your response to all the people who are reacting to your performance as Stormfront, online and in social media?
First of all, I can't see everything, and I think that's probably healthy. And there's going to be some confusion about what's going on simply because we've gone week to week, so we don't know the full intent. So people are making sort of judgments before they have seen the arc of the season. But I think it's important to show her humanity in the beginning, because this sort of hatred is wrapped up in these pretty packages these days. And it's not necessarily people flag waving, although those people exist as well. There's a more insidious sort of manipulation that is happening that I think the boys is pointing at with Stormfront by making her sort of cute and sweet in the beginning. So people who are so outraged with the turn, hopefully once they've seen the entire season and can look back on what's happened to her and see that it's not a glorification, but the banality of evil is real, and not all villains are going to be, mustache twirling and tell you to your face. There's a lot of manipulation going on.
We actually are going to throw to a surprise video question from somebody who is a boys super fan and NBA superstar and many other things with the word super in them. So let's do that. Play that.
I want to be part of the set. I also want to know who's the biggest prankster on the set. Let me know.
Wait, he's gonna.
What'd you say?
The number one power that I possess is I can transform anytime. Who is the biggest prankster on the set? I want to know now, or I will release the power. Yeah. Make me part of the 7 now. Now. You don't believe I have powers in real life? Look at that.
Ooh, wow.
I want to be part of the 7. Who is the biggest prankster on the set? Let me know. Before I come down there and release the demons. Black Demon would be my name. I possess so many powers.
So many filters. I love it. Wow.
That was an
How
audition.
sick is that?
Oh my God.
Jeez, man, that's awesome.
So,
Eric, make it happen, man. Get him in there.
So who of you guys are the biggest prankster on the set?
it might be Karl.
Carl, you want to feel this one?
Carl!
Oh, come on,
It might be
man.
Carl.
Carl versus
Yeah, of course
Shaq.
it's you.
Les is the sly
Be
prankster.
honest with
Les
Shaq.
is the one who sets it all up and then just quietly walks away and watches the damage. I got your number, pal.
Gotta keep his hands clean.
All right, the next question is for Karen. The question comes from someone who is obviously a Karen superfan because their name is at Kamiko the Boy.
Oh, thank you.
And they ask, did you and your coach create an entire vocabulary of signs for Kamiko's language, or was it just the words that she would be using in the show? And does the grammar structure tend to mirror Japanese or English, or is it entirely different from either?
Good questions. I worked with Amanda Risher, who is a sign language coach for Sally on Shape of Water, and she's amazing. She helped me create the language, and we would take the lines, and then she would create the sign language around that. And she has a whole list of vocabulary words for me now. I think it's based on English and not Japanese because she is Canadian and she speaks English.
All right. The next question is for Laz from at Dark Science 11, who asks, you really interweave subtle nuances of the current political environment into the story very well, like in episode 4. And how hard is it to remain subtle in those nuances?
Well, that's a great question. I think that the main thing is bringing reality and truth to the moment. The conversation that Mother's Milk had with Valerie in that moment was a conversation that's very familiar to African Americans in general. We have this conversation, even if we don't know each other. We know the struggle that we have all at some point or another have shared. And so that underlying kind of nod or that acknowledgement to each other that we know each other, that's that familiarity that Mother's Milk was able to establish with Valerie, and that trust that he was able to establish very quickly. What I loved about that scene, though, isn't just that moment. It's the moment afterwards when we leave and Hughie and Erin want to talk further about it. And they want to know more about the pain that Mother's Milk and his father experienced as a result of Vought. And that's what I feel like is synonymous what we're seeing today. is that this conversation at one time used to only be among Black people. And now it's including all people. And people are wondering how they can all participate in being allies and in being helpful and in tearing down the system that for many, many years has kind of treated one group of people as other. And the only way to fix it is if we're all involved. And that's what I loved about the nuance wasn't only in that moment, but it was in the moment after on the car ride home where you really got to see them open up and keep the conversation going.
The next question is going to be for Anthony, who recorded an answer even though he is in Bulgaria, living out his dream fantasy of a real version of the movie Hostel. So, at Nagano says, what will be Homelander's reaction when he finds out that the boys have a guy named Mother's Milk?
Ooh.
So let's
That's his face.
I wanted to know this for quite some time.
So let's see what Anthony has to say.
Oh gosh.
Hey guys, good to see you all. Miss you all. Thank you for the question, Eric. I think Homelander would recognize that Mother's Milk is sort of like a surrogate girlfriend or wife to Butcher, and that gives him some leverage. So I think he'd probably use him he'd maybe torture him to inflict some kind of emotional pain and psychological damage on William. Yeah, I don't think it'd be pleasant for Mother's Milk. Definitely don't think it would be much fun at all for any of them, really. Or it could just be a little more like this.
No.
Bro.
Don't gargle it. Stop it.
Have a great rest of your panel.
Sick.
He never disagrees.
Okay, this next question is for Tomer from at the real Kripke, which is tell us about shooting the love sausage scene, and are you sad that I cut the take of you biting a giant 10-foot penis?
It's the whale and the penis, isn't it? I'm sure my friend Les has a bunch of pictures, biting that thing off, I remember that Les came in. I don't know, did we told it already or not, if anybody heard it, but that Les came into the trailer one day, the makeup trailer, and about fighting a big ass penis, and Les was like going to Karl like, you're kidding me, you're messing with me. And then we had like 15 minutes of trying to explain to him that that's what's going to happen, and apparently he didn't read the whole episode. And then he went back to the trailer with his jaw down. And then he came with this brilliant idea that he shouldn't fight that monster alone. He needs his friend by his side. A Frenchie, stepping in. And I did. And I'd pee on any one of you if I had to.
Nice.
That's the kind of friend you want.
Love that. Thanks,
That's
man.
a non sequitur. Everyone pay attention to Laz's response and reaction as I say this, which is last week a writer pitched that this is not the last time that Mother's Milk and Love Sausage interact.
You know what? That's good. That's good. I want to get him back.
You want to get him back? All right.
He won the
That's crazy.
Classified endorsement of that concept.
Okay,
I think
all right.
on behalf
I hear you.
of all
I
of
hear
us.
you. We're talking about it.
I'm worried.
There's conversation. Okay. Next one is for Jessie. This is from @AudreyFanForever. And her question for you, Jessie, is if you could take on any comic superhero, like in the, I guess, DC or Marvel type our world, whether a favorite or one that you feel is on par with your power, which one would it be? And ultimately, who would win?
I feel like everybody wants me to say either the Flash or Quicksilver. That's like the obvious go-to, just so we can finally get to the bottom of who's going to be the fastest. But I don't know. I feel like that would just be like another shockwave race. It'd be too fast for anybody to see, and like the only thing that would matter would be the millisecond of the race, and then what the result would be. So let's make it more interesting. If I can take on anyone, I want to take on Homelander. I want to know. I want to know if A-Train is fast enough to maneuver around Homelander to stand a chance against everything that he's bringing to the table. I mean, we know that A-Train's kind of scared of him, but he's pretty strong. He's kind of fast. I think he can take him. Do I know he can take him? No, I have no idea. But I want to see that fight.
I would love to see that too. That's awesome. That's really a good idea.
That's pretty
Look at Tom on that.
Yeah.
There he is.
A-Train Glad. Perfect. We already know who's team A-Train over there.
Chace, this is from I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Aisha TRC. What was the hardest, funniest, and most awkward scenes you had to play on the show, and why?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard to pick. All the scenes are so normal. I mean, it's really. Most of them are pretty right down the middle, so it's tough to pick. I don't know. I mean, awkward would probably be, when the Deep got his, comeuppance and got assaulted. I don't know. I mean, sitting there with my own torso on my own torso, and it being like pumped behind me. Paul's pumping the pumps, and like the gills are moving, and the camera's here, and he's yelling in my face. That was awkward and fun, but and bizarre. and then I mean, the fun and bizarre thing too is when the poor sweet dolphin, the green dolphin, gets rocketed out of the front windshield. And for me being on set, that was fun. I mean, that was fun too. So, yeah, they were all awkward.
Like, what's Deep's in your mind as the Deep? What's Deep's weirdest moment out of all of his weird moments? What would you put as number one?
Well, yeah, I mean, probably the mushroom tea. Probably drinking the mushroom tea and having to talk to his own guild. I mean, we've all been there. We've all done that. That wasn't. But for the Deep, it was the first time for the Deep to talk to his guilds. No, I mean, going through that scene was great. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. It was good. But for the Deep, it wasn't so much fun. It was tragic and funny and weird. It was great.
Yeah, that was amazing. The last question will be given by our good friend Aisha Tyler, who is the awesome host of our after show, Prime Rewind Inside the Boys. So let's hear from our friend Aisha.
Hey, hi, my name's Aisha Tyler. I'm a big fan of the boys. Here's my question. What 3 ways can fans prepare for the season finale?
I think you're going to need emotional support while you're watching the episode. I think you should grab your bestie or your partner and have emotional support to hold on to someone when it finishes, because you're going to have all the feels and the PTSD, and you might need therapy, but, just let it wash over you and enjoy it.
I think use the bathroom before you sit down to watch the show, just so you don't piss the shit on yourself. I think that's important. That's got to be top 3 for sure.
I hear that happens.
It's happened to me, and I knew what was coming. So I think that's more so of a preparation for what's to come. Just go to the bathroom.
I think one of the most important things you can probably do is make sure you have an up-to-date subscription to Amazon Prime Video. If you don't have that, it's pretty difficult to watch. But get that Amazon Prime.
I would say listen to as much Billy Joel as you can, just in general. The Stranger, just listen to all of it. Do it.
Smart.
It's just going to improve your life.
All right. Well, on that note of Billy Joel, that's it for us. So, again, we want to thank all the fans. You guys totally rule. We're so grateful. And we couldn't do this without you. So this is all for you. So thank you.
Heck yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
So
Love you guys.
Tune into the finale, which is exclusively on Prime Video, as Karl said, and watch the after show, Prime Rewind Inside the Boys. We're in the writer's room cooking through season 3, so we'll get that to you as soon as we can, COVID willing.
Nice.
And thank you very much, and make sure you stay safe and healthy. And see ya.
Boom.
Thank you.
See you guys,
everyone.